Hey, what's up, guys? We're back. We have returned. It's the RSL Show. Alex Napoles, Josh Clark, Carson Lantz. We're back, bringing you, I guess, the latest, not the greatest,
Far from the greatest.
because RSL hasn't been the greatest. But we're bringing you the latest RSL League news. To start things off, a couple of elephants in the room that we need to address. First of all, our absence. We've been MIA for a little bit. Part of that has to do with me because I got super busy with high school coverage and soccer, high school coverage stuff and KSL coverage stuff. And so for that first week, that was on me. I'll take the blame for that. But mostly because I think we got in a little bit of trouble. we got in a little bit of trouble, and we figured it would be best for Josh to take the back seat for a little bit. So he didn't say anything on here that would get us in more trouble, but now we're back because Josh is feeling a little bit better.
A little bit. Just a little bit. A little bit.
We'll leave it at
Tippy
that.
toeing.
We'll leave it at that. So that's elephant number one that needed to be addressed. Elephant number two that needs to be addressed. Emeka Nelly out long term with an injury. Stress fracture in his foot. He's unavailable for real. So like they say the timeline is hopefully July, but still that's a large part of the summer where Real Salt Lake has to go without Emeka Nelly now, on top of potentially losing Diego Luna to the Gold Cup, and of course maybe Xavier Gozo if he keeps getting called up to the U20 side.
Listen, that sucks. But at this point, does it really matter?
No.
Like really, realistically, does it really matter, right? For me, rest of this season, let's see what the other guys have, right? Especially in, kind of forced to do it, right? If these guys weren't gone, obviously I'm not saying don't start them, but time to see what they've got. Time to see if Palacio can step up. Time to see if Ruiz can come back. Like, there's still talent there. And maybe something new will work. Because whatever we have going on right now, as we all are well aware, is not working.
Yeah, I think obviously the two bright spots have been Gozo and Luna. And now that they're going to be gone for, like the next...
Potentially.
Well, I thought Gozo got caught up.
He is. He did get called up for a U20
training camp.
This window.
Yeah.
There is a U20 tournament coming up in September that we also have to keep an eye on now, because apparently Gozo is attracting eyes from the U20 side, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. Yeah. But yeah, I think we are losing Luna though.
Oh yeah, There's no way we don't.
Yeah. We are losing Diego Luna, and I think losing him puts pressure on the next guy up. So who's going to step up with Luna out? Because he leads us in goals, leads us in everything up. So now it's like, and assists, and who's going to step up? That's the real question.
Maybe Diogo. Oh, we're all hilarious.
Funny guy. Where's he? Hey, have you seen him though?
Speaking of which, that's elephant number 3 that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, we got to talk about that one.
Diogo Gonçalves, he was out with a heel injury.
Supposedly.
From my understanding, from what I know and from what I've heard, from my understanding, Diogo was back in training after said heel injury. He was training off to the side as he, returned to full fitness, etc., and didn't make the trip to Austin or LA Galaxy because of disciplinary reasons. I guess as he's working back to full fitness, his discipline and the way he's training and the way he's practicing isn't up to quote unquote RSL standards per Jason Kreis. And so he didn't make the trip to Austin, to LA, due to disciplinary reasons.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird. I mean, none of us saw it coming. None of us, across the fandom, and I'm sorry, not fandom, we're not fans, across professionalism, journalism, whatever. None of us saw this coming. No one had this opinion that he doesn't seem to care that he's playing here or want to represent the team 100%. So I don't think anyone's shocked.
Nope.
And honestly, why did it take so long?
I think, I'm surprised it took so long because he's not been playing good, and I'm surprised he's started as many games as he had. And I don't think that's shocked anyone. And I think the one person that has been rewarded with how Diogo has been playing is Xavier Gozo. And, I've been calling for Xavier Gozo to get playing time for a really long time. And this is a win in my eyes because he's a stud.
Yeah, I mean, barring the losses, right? Gozo's been fun to watch. He's been one of the few bright spots. So it's definitely a W for us. I think we would all be much more irritated if, we're having this trend of results with Diogo out there not putting in the effort.
Yeah. To go further into Jason Kreis's comments, he also was asked about Diogo's time here with Real Salt Lake, and he said, quote, "It's never a zero-sum game or a 100% business, but this may prove to be a mistake. We'll see."
Kreis is keeping it 100.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Someone from the FO is keeping it at 100 with us, and I like that.
And what I like is like, I'm so sorry, but the blind optimism that we're typically fed constantly, even though like you can clearly see something's not working, it's nice to not see that coming from Jason in this situation.
Yeah.
You feel validated in a way.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I feel like those comments made last week by Jason Kreis in regards to Diogo was the most upfront and the most honest, really, we've heard from Real Salt Lake this season.
If not years.
Yeah.
Like really.
Yeah. And I appreciate it, man. It's a breath of fresh air. It's nice. It's nice to know where, one, a player stands, and two, what's really going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. It makes us feel better.
Easily, Real Salt Lake, and I mean, they kind of did. Real Salt Lake can trot it out as, oh, he's still dealing with the heel. He's still out. It's an injury. That, is a whole different story. That's a whole different way to approach it. You look at the injury reports, even after Kreis made the comments, and it still says he's out with a heel. It doesn't say disciplinary reason. It doesn't say, personal reasons or whatever the case is. It still says heel. And so had Kreis not come out and even said that, you wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't. And the Kreis is smart because people would see through it to an extent, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's good on Kreis.
100%.
I find the timing wild, but totally agree.
Let's jump into the results. We won't dive too much into it. I mean, everybody watched the games. Everybody saw it. Let's focus on the big issue, right? You're winless in the month of May.
Yeah.
You went a whole month without winning a single football match. You lose 2-1 to Vancouver to start off the month. You go 1-1 on the road to FC Dallas, which at that time,
decent result.
At that time when it happened, I wasn't too upset about it. I am upset, though, about a 0-0 draw at home against the Portland Timbers.
Yep.
You go on the road, you lose to Colorado 1-0.
Unacceptable.
You come back home, league leaders Vancouver, you're up 2-0 at home, Josh. 2-0. And you blow it. You lose 3-2. Last minute winner from Pedro Vita in the 90th minute. 1-1 draw against Austin FC. That one, I think, coming off of losing a 2-0 lead at home and then going on the road and having a lead on the road and then losing that again in the 90th minute to Diego Rubio, who I absolutely... He's been a pain in Real Salt Lake's side for a while. You draw that 1-1-1, and then you lose 2-0 to the LA Galaxy to allow the Galaxy to get their first win of the 2025 football season.
You lose 2-0 to the 0-16, not 0, they had a couple draws in there, but for drama's sake, to the 0-16 LA Galaxy.
Right.
Like, bro, what?
Yeah, that's where you're at.
And you knew we were going to lose that game. Like, it's written on the wall. 0-16, struggling Galaxy. We're going to lose.
Look, we didn't record.
We have text messages to prove it.
We knew it was coming.
Yep.
We knew it was coming.
I think the game I'm most upset about is, LA Galaxy, they suck. Portland, okay. Colorado, okay. But we lost to – we had a 2-0 – we were up 2-0 versus Vancouver at home in 4 minutes. And then we blew that lead in what? The next 5 minutes?
I think by the 30th minute it was 2-2. If I remember right.
That's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're at home, we're at the Riot, and we get a 2-0 lead in the first half and blow that in the first half, and then we lose it in extra time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the motivational speeches are going. I don't know the mood in the locker room, but it's broken. Something's off.
And we called this from the beginning of the season, Josh. We said something is going on in the locker room. There's not a leader in the locker room. This could get worse. And it's gotten worse.
Exponentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Josh, we also talked about earlier in the season where you look at the 6 through 15 range of teams, right, on the table, and those are the teams you have to win. Those are the teams that you have to beat to make it to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You look at that range right now. You just played Colorado. You lost 1-0. You just played Austin. Couldn't beat them. 1-1. You just played FC Dallas. Couldn't beat them. 1-1, right? And that one too?
Yeah.
And then you look at the Galaxy. You couldn't beat them.
Galaxy, we should have been able to put the Monarchs on the field against the Galaxy.
The teams in the spot of the table right now where you're supposed to find those wins, where you're supposed to get those points to allow you to position yourself in a good spot to make it to the playoffs, you are not getting those points now either, which means that Real Salt Lake have fallen to 13th place on the table, just 15 points on the season through 17 games. Sporting Kansas City have jumped Real Salt Lake.
You know what Sporting Kansas City did? They got rid of Hermes.
St. Louis is right there too, man.
Salt Lake needs to do.
St. Louis is right there too. They fired their coach and they get the win against San Jose. Now they're a point behind Real Salt Lake.
I just had a scary thought, and I feel like we've talked about this before, but picture this scenario.
Oh.
Mid-July, we still haven't won a game. Maybe we've won one, right? So it bought him some time. Pablo gets fired. We cast our big, wide, worldwide net to search and find a new head coach, much like the one we did for our GM that's still cast. And instead of bringing in a guy that's going to change this team, we hire Peter Vermes.
Hey, don't put that out there, dude. We're 2 for 2 right now with Sporting Kansas City.
I know,
hey?
but
we're 2 for 2.
Is that not the most like RSL thing that would happen?
I mean, considering what happened at the deadline, yes, it would be.
I'd rather just bring in Kyle Beckerman at that point, man.
Yeah, what's Kyle doing? Anybody giving him a call yet?
He's at UVU. Just chilling at UVU, waiting for that call.
Winless in the month of May. This Real Salt Lake team goes. Look, this is a league that's driven by DP play.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's so important to hit on your DPs, to hit on your U22s now too. And what has Real Salt Lake done?
Absolutely nothing.
One, they have a DP spot open that they couldn't fill because of a failed transfer. And two, your other DP is not suspended, sorry. Disciplinary reasons, didn't travel with the team. And that's why you're seeing the results that you're seeing now.
What's it going to take to change? Is this where we have to decide if we have faith in the Millers, right? I know we have to give them till the transfer window, but my preliminary feeling is unease.
Yeah.
It's going to be more than a striker once summer comes because Luna's going to be gone. Who knows who else gets attention?
Yeah.
Are we going to get a right back?
How long is it going to take for Goza to get that attention?
Right. It might not take long at all.
Right.
He could be had the attention.
You're right.
He's been on trial at Salzburg.
he's got eyes on him. But like, look at Barajas, right? He was here for 3 months. It felt like.
Yeah.
That could very well happen with Gozo. Caliscan's been doing a good job, but like, are we going to get an actual right back?
I think the best thing that could happen to Real Salt Lake heading into the summer months and heading into, as we inch closer and closer to that transfer window, I think the best thing that can happen for Real Salt Lake is, one, you move off of Diogo Gonçalves as soon as you can.
Mm-hmm.
The second, and any opportunity there is to move him off to Portugal, to move him off to back to Europe or wherever it is that he wants to go, you make that move happen. Because best case scenario, you head into the summer window with 2 DP spots open.
An international spot.
Yes, you free up some international spots, and potentially you have a U22 spot that's going to be open too if Diego Luna decides to move on this summer as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 key spots, 3 most super important spots on the roster that you can have available to your disposal to use this summer transfer window. That coincides right with what the European players and the European market is looking at right now. There is a lot of room and a lot of potential for Real Salt Lake to make moves to make this team better, to push for potentially a play-in spot right in the final 2 months of the season.
Yep.
And that's really awesome to think about, but also really freaking scary.
Right, because no one has faith that it'll happen.
Right. Because right now, I've seen the Pablo outs. I've seen them. But I don't think I'm there yet. Right now, I'm questioning Kurt Schmidt.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Like,
right now, I'm questioning Jason Kreis.
Mm-hmm. And
I mean, sure, some of it, yes. It does fall on Pablo, yes, as a head coach, because we've talked about making tactical adjustments in games sometimes, and substitution games in some games, and that's where I'll fault him, right?
Right.
But it comes down to the front office, who are going to be making the decisions to retool your roster. They didn't do that in the winter.
No, not even close.
And that's why we're at where we're at right now.
Right. We've signed 3 strikers since Chicho left. None of which were for big money, but why sign 3 when you can just go spend the extra $1 million or $2 million and get someone in that's going to make a difference? I don't know. It's very frustrating, right? If we continue this form into the summer and you sell Diego Luna, outside of the fireworks games, which you're going to have a lot of, who's coming to the games?
Funny you bring this up, because I saw. So, I think earlier this week, Leagues Cup and the sales ticket office, or whatever you want to call them, sent out the emails of people for season ticket holders to opt into their Leagues Cup tickets.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of people that I saw opt out of those tickets, Josh,
doesn't surprise me.
It's kind of crazy.
But unless you're going to see the team we're playing against in Leagues Cup because that team excites you,
right?
Why are you gonna like? I get like when I was younger and like wouldn't miss a single game. I get it, right? I'm a crusty old man now, and like my couch is sick. When we're in a dip like this, dog, like I'm not gonna spend $50 on a ticket. I'm just gonna watch it at home. Because then when I get irritated or we're losing or whatever, I can go have a beer and like take a walk around the house. You know what I mean? It's just people that aren't hardcore fans are going to stop spending their money and going.
And we're playing Club America.
Oh, yeah, that game.
We're about to get our butt kicked.
That game, America First Field, it's not going to be red. It's going to be yellow.
Yep.
It is going to be pure yellow.
I wouldn't be surprised if all the games are the other opposing team's colors, because Mexico fans, they travel good.
They do.
They're die hard.
They do. And like I said, the amount of people who have opted out of those Leagues Cup tickets, there's going to be tickets available for America fans, quite frankly, Club America fans, to come in and swipe up all those tickets, man.
Yeah. And I'm not saying don't go to games, right? Unless you really want to send a message to ownership, but I'm not promoting that. That would take a lot of effort, and that's a lot of people. But, those games never really attract that big of a crowd. Even when we're good, it still doesn't feel full. But, man, I really have a feeling if this continues and we lose our talisman and our star that everyone's going to see in Luna, people aren't going to be that interested, man. You're going to have college football spinning back up. Hockey club will be spinning back up, right? People are going to be looking elsewhere to get their, fun fandom fed. And
I agree.
you have to remain competitive not only in the league, but like in your market. And it's going to be a tough fall, I think, if this doesn't pick up. We're going to be seeing a lot of like Maverick corner tickets on sale and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I was about to jump into the responses, but I actually just remembered something that I think needs to be addressed as well. I don't know if you guys have caught it. I don't know if you guys have seen it. But there's been multiple times now in post-game press conferences where Pablo Mastroeni basically says, look, I think it's time to change the expectations for this team because it's very young and we shouldn't expect these young guys to be second, third, fourth place in the table. It's been two post-game press conferences now where he said something along those lines. And I just want to get your guys' thoughts on those comments made by Mastroeni.
So when the season was beginning and we're gunning for MLS Cup, was the roster not just as young?
Same roster.
I mean, you look at the roster now. Yes, Luna's young, but he's a veteran.
He's not that young.
Right. And these guys have had years in the league, right? Anelli, young guy, but he's a veteran. You could argue Gozo coming in right now, young. Okay. Outside of that, these guys aren't young. They've been together for a while. Cabral's ready to retire. He's not young.
Poor guy.
I'll give you Cabral, I'll give you Gozo, and I'll give you Ari Pule.
Sure, but outside of that two guys that don't get full 90 usually. One's getting it because he's performing, but like those two guys took you from a contender almost half of all last season to now a year and a half later we shouldn't have that high of expectations. No, not buying it.
Yeah, I'm not buying it either. It just seems like a lame excuse. Just being like, oh, we're playing bad. Here's an excuse to throw out. I'm like, what? Like, that's just my reaction. Like, excuse me? Like, that's not what you guys were telling us at the beginning of the season. Like, this is supposed to be the most in-depth roster we've ever had. And now all of a sudden we're too young?
I don't like that one bit. It'd be different if Jude Wellings was out there and all these other guys, right? The academy guys we've signed, and they were all starting every game.
Yeah.
Too young?
Yeah, I'm not buying it either. I haven't been a fan of those comments that Mastroeni has made.
And I mean, your team's in the Champions League. They're not 30. They've got 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23-year-olds on them. Not buying it.
It's been twice now. 2 post-game press conferences where I've heard Pablo Mastroeni say that kind of along those lines. Say we need to change the expectation. We need to, not expect this young group of guys to be fighting for 4th place, 5th place, 3rd or whatever. Basically, kind of he compared it to LAFC too. He's like, we shouldn't be competing against LAFC because they're young.
LAFC's young.
Yeah.
LAFC's probably younger.
They're pretty young. They've gotten young over the past couple of years.
They've gotten younger, sure. But, I mean, you still have Denny Bwanga. You still have Aaron Long. You still have...
Giroud.
Oh, man. Lloris, Giroud. There's a lot more experience there.
There's a lot of experience, but they also have a lot of young guys. I mean, we also have a lot of experience. Justin Glad, he's got plenty of experience. Alex Petranis, plenty of experience. Rafa Cabral, plenty of experience. Ojeda, plenty of experience. Okay, maybe not that many. But still enough. Vera, plenty of experience.
Ojeda.
Ruiz.
Still enough to, go back to a conversation we had at the beginning of the season where we were talking about basically running it back with a lot of what we had last season. And you brought it up, Josh. Last season, this team was on a 15-game win streak a year ago. they were in first place of Major League Soccer. I don't know. I actually can't remember if it was Major League Soccer or just the Western Conference, but first place regardless.
We were fighting for the Shield. Yeah.
Real Salt Lake was in the Shield race. And then, I mean, you run it back with a lot minus Chicho, minus Crooks, minus Gomez.
Right, but okay, so you lost the Chicho's still the big sore one.
Which is still 47 goals.
Yeah, it's huge, but...
Or however many...
But was Gomez not young?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. All this to say, I'm not buying what Pablo Mastroeni's putting out right now.
Nah, I don't.
With those comments.
I don't like those comments. I mean, you just signed Willie Agata and Johnny Russell. Like, that's age.
Plenty of MLS experience there, by the way.
Yeah. So I don't like those comments at all.
Yeah. Let's jump into the questions. Or, I mean, let's jump into...
Just comments.
The comments, the hot takes.
Send them my way. I've been looking forward to this. I love it.
First of all, thank you everybody who replied. There's 32 replies. I don't know if we'll have time in the show to get through every single one of them. We'll try our best. But we're going to start off with Will Elgren, who said, we clearly need a good window in the summer, and hopefully we keep Luna somehow, some way. Josh, we just hit on this. Couldn't agree more. Tate Cannon says, I understand we got hurt by the Chicho and Manuel situations, but this is unacceptable after selling so much talent last year. Yes. We just got into that too. Summer window is going to be so important. Carson Wilcox says, I understand all the Pablo out talk. He hasn't done anything to elevate this team, but man, it sucks that he loses his top talent and doesn't get it replaced, leading to poor results. Yes, I'm not Pablo out 100% yet, but
dude, I'm everyone out.
I don't know. I just think this summer is probably one of the most crucial summers for RSL. And I feel like I'm prepared for disappointment. Like, I don't expect much to happen, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's time for the Millers to, set the tone for how they're going to own this team.
Put the money where your mouth is.
Yep.
Alex Massimo Sweat says, frustrating how we find ways to implode, but let's be real, half of these points are lost to referees. That said, we got to find a way to get results, but not enough from many guys, including Pablo TBH. No, I don't like the referee talk.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it was at the beginning of the year.
It's not as bad as it was at the beginning of the year, and at the end of the day, you can't allow the referee to win you games.
Well, and this team, really what's killing us is not being able to convert our chances and absolute mental lapses in transition and on defense.
Yep. I think just kind of pitting the results on just the referees, I think that's loser mentality.
Honestly, I don't even think it's that. I think you're giving the team an excuse they don't deserve.
That too. Brighton Oakley says, don't get me wrong, Luna carries this team, but his body language is awful. Every time his teammates loses the ball, I would like to see more positivity out of him. Like I said, he carries, but it's demoralizing to his teammates when he throws his arms up in frustration when he doesn't get the ball or someone loses it. Again, Luna goated.
He's not wrong, and it's not just Luna, but that's another, little alarm bell going off in my brain, like that the body language between these guys is not great, which makes you think of a broken locker room or a team that doesn't know how to direct their frustration in the proper manner, right?
Yeah. It's a good point. It's a really good point, actually.
I can speak on Luna a little bit. I understand body language, but when you are carrying one of the worst teams in MLS right now at 21, 22 years old, I feel like you're allowed to show a little frustration. But also, I think that's as far as I'm going to go about talking about Diego Luna right now. But yeah.
Lindsay Welker says, Pablo out. Just Pablo out.
Okay. Honestly, like if we were to get an email tomorrow that says, coaching announcement at 10 a.m., would anyone be surprised? Actually, yes, I would be surprised if they actually did something. But
I was
no,
about to say
wouldn't be.
truthfully, yes. Truthfully, I would, because I feel like I mean, and I don't know. I'm not in those conversations with the front office. I don't, but I feel like the front office is happy with player progression. They're happy with what Luna is becoming. They're happy with what Xavier Goza is becoming.
There's plenty.
I
of guys
wonder
that
how
can
much.
get this
I wonder
done.
how much leeway he gets for youth development. You know what I mean?
I do, but
Yeah.
I don't agree with it.
Quaid Garfield says, I'm just happy I don't have to be miserable for the next 12 days. Plethora of problems caused by the FO not adequately reinforcing the squad after last year's departures, and I don't see it getting much better this year, but if we somehow make the playoff, it will be a quote-unquote successful season.
Yup.
Love it, Quaid. Love it. Derek Saunders says, I'm so over it. Simple, short, and sweet.
I think many people are.
Mark Hymas says coaching isn't just good enough. This team is good enough to compete. Maybe not a contender, but should still be better than this. And yes, Mark,
I wholeheartedly agree.
we couldn't agree more, man. The reality, we were just talking about it. The reality is a lot of these players were on that team last season that was in fighting for the first spot. The talent is there. It's just not good. It's just not good enough right now.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is at all.
Tucker Christensen says, make front office changes, people who aren't afraid to use all the money we have to sign players.
Good question mark, though. Do we have money to sign players?
That's a great question.
Well, what's our budget? What are the owners willing to spend? Are we headed towards a Deloy Hansen era, right?
Well, and I mean, right before the ownership change, Robert Bosnick was coming in. The fee was reported at $2 million. And I mean, I feel like we talked about this before, Josh. Is $2 million really enough to get you a true DP9?
No. That's like U22 initiative money.
Yeah. Oh, Emily Elizabeth says, I'm not one to immediately jump on the Pablo out chant the second something goes wrong, but I feel like we have had enough time and the usual midseason panic actually feels warranted this season. St. Louis City just dropped their coach after like 15 matches and they won their next game. Maybe it's time for us to do the same, ... with who? That I can't tell you.
Peter Vermes.
No, Josh.
Stop that, bro. Oh my
Don't
god.
put it out there. You joked about Johnny Russell coming to Real Salt Lake, and it happened.
And Willie Agata.
Yeah, we did. We did joke about that. Yeah, we joked about that one too. Like I said, bro, we're 2 for 2 right now with Sporting Kansas City. And I hope that trend does not continue.
It would be so funny. It would be so on brand.
James says, I would rather watch paint dry than waste another 2 hours of my life. Yeesh. It's a harsh one there.
Crazy.
Alex Colton says, for the most part, I think people are mad, but I also believe most people are confused and lost. On paper, we have a lot of good players and staff, but nothing is coming together. A mix of bad luck, bad refs, bad trades, bad acquisitions just makes you desperate to look somewhere for success. This season just doesn't make sense. Oh my goodness. Alex
Quite
Colton.
literally. Eloquently said.
That's the best one I've seen.
Yeah, that's
honestly.
That's how I've been trying to explain it, but couldn't. So he said it perfectly. It makes no sense.
Shout out Alex Colton, man. That was the best one. Tyler Hutchinson says, the only thing that kept me going this season was that LA was so bad, having not won a game, but now that's gone and out of our hands. No wins in the month of May. Only 2 bright spots right now, Luna and Gozo. Even our midfield has been disappointing. I hope the international call-ups help us get things straight. We deserve a better window. 2 Casey flunkies just isn't good enough.
Although I have been impressed with what I've seen from Johnny Russell. He's bringing that fire that we've been lacking, but for like 8 minutes.
Never thought I would say this, but I think Johnny Russell needs to be on the field a little bit more.
I think he needs, as soon as he's available to do it, he needs to start.
Yeah. Josh, not Josh Clark, just a random Josh on our Instagram, says we suck. That's it. That's all he said.
Hey,
That's what my nephew told me the other day.
Hey, your nephew's onto something.
I couldn't argue with him.
Braden Ashby says, I genuinely wonder if we have any players besides Cabral Luna and Anelli that are top 15 in the league in their positions. Can't think of anyone besides those 3. I don't feel like you need top players in certain positions to be successful in this league.
I disagree with you. I think you need someone putting up numbers goal-wise and assist-wise, and that would make you a top player. And I think it's important that your goalkeeper is a top player.
Does every team near the top of the table, do they have a top 15 goalkeeper? It's a lot of it's a lot of teams to go through and a lot of players to go through. But I mean, like,
maybe not goalkeeper. That's like a personal preference, right?
Yeah, but like in the case of San Diego, where you're number 3 and you have CJ Dos Santos starting in goal.
Yeah, that's true.
And I wouldn't consider him a top 15.
Okay, so we'll scratch the goalkeeper thing. I just love Cabral.
But I will say you probably do need a top 15, whether that be a 10 playmaker or whether that be a 9.
You need someone putting offense up. Yeah.
Yes. But I don't think you necessarily need like a top 15 center back to be successible.
No,
I think you just need defensive cohesion, which I think Rouse lacks right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's been lacking since we started the season because every week it's a different back line.
Yep. Francesco Perry says, blaming Pablo Mastroeni for how we're playing is short-sighted. We don't have a proven striker. Our backline depth isn't it. I'm guessing the sell the club is why we didn't invest. And fans that get mad about selling Gomez, ask them how many goals he scored in his first season. Quotation 1. We have to sell players when you can get that kind of value. It's the nature of the sport, especially in a league like MLS when it isn't even a top 10 league. A lot to digest here. Yeah,
but he's on the money. Francesco knows.
Yeah, a lot to digest here. And it comes back to a conversation we had earlier where you didn't retool your roster. That's why Rouse likes where they're at right now.
Isn't it wild how badly we miss Matt Crooks?
Yes.
A guy playing out of position.
Yep.
A guy that your new DP could not beat for minutes.
It's crazy how much the fan base disliked Matt Crooks.
Right.
And now here we are a year later, and Matt Crooks might be the guy who was kind of holding this team together.
It's becoming clearer.
Yeah. Wild.
It's very wild.
Christian says, I would say 80% of this is on the front office. Yes, it's frustrating, but everybody's saying Pablo out needs to take a chill pill. Yes, his tactics are not the best, but it's not the reason we're losing. To some degree, yes.
Yeah, I'm sticking with they just need to restart it all.
Yep. I couldn't agree more with the 80% of this on the front office, though. James Kalashima says, on the bright side, at least I get a break from having to watch Manchester United play.
Oh, bro, I feel that, and you are so right.
I feel like I'm watching 2 Manchester Uniteds play.
Yeah, that's the worst part of it. It's you're disappointed on both ends. It sucks. Mammoth will be back soon. Then we can all have something to be happy about.
Hey, did you guys qualify for Champions League? Right? You beat Tottenham?
Nope.
My bad.
Shut up, Alex.
Freaking
Spencer Barron says Luna is playing selfish. It's because he has to carry the team, but now it's hurting us.
Oh my gosh. Cry about it.
I
Let
mean,
him
there
fucking
there
do.
are
Let him
times
do
though.
his
There are
thing.
times.
Oh, we don't like. What else do we have to lose? Like, let him do his thing. Like,
I will say, hold up. Actually, I will say, watching that Austin game, the second half, after Austin goes 1-1, Luna has an opportunity where Gozo was open, and I think had he passed it to Gozo, you probably have a game winner from Xavier Gozo in that one. But instead, he took a shot that went straight into Brad Stuver's hands. Braxton Sprague says, there's clearly an issue that the front office is not willing to address right now. Either we need to spend and get proven elite players, possibly old near retirement veterans, or we need a new coach. I think we have a decent team, but we are missing something. Yes, Braxton, we're missing your two most important pieces in the attack. You don't have a 10. I mean, you do, but you don't.
You don't.
And you don't have a striker.
This team needs like a 90s sports movie montage about coming together.
Tyson Davis says, Pablo must have dirt on someone in the front office. Only logical reason to have a job after having one win in the last 10. Actually, that's something I didn't even bring up. If you zoom out of the month of May and you look back to the month of April, Roslik has one win in 10 games, bro.
Oh yeah, it's not just a May problem. It's been a problem.
bruh.
Oh, I tried to just focus on May because I feel like it makes me feel a little bit better. Because it's like, oh, it's just 7 games.
Hey, whatever you got to do to like keep yourself sane, you know.
That's a reality check that just hit me there.
Yeah, that it's not just the last 5 games, but really, I mean, we've had a smattering of wins in there. But since the Chicho suspension, well, what's our record since the Chicho suspension?
8 wins in 35 games.
I'm surprised that no one's brought that up ever. That's wow. That's terrible.
8 wins in 35 games.
That's dog crap.
That's crazy.
No wonder why we're so grumpy, bro. Like, I knew it felt like it's been
Oh no, we suck
a
again.
lot, but we've sucked. It's not we suck again, but we've sucked.
We suck again because we were good last year, and now we suck again.
Only for half of last year. Yikes, bros.
We're in the mud right now.
We're a bad team.
Matthew Daniels says Pablo and the front office performed excellently for 3 years, improving on top of the previous performance, but then they sold Gomez too soon. Got worse was Chicho's suspension, of which he never recovered from. That was okay because the next season was there and they could hit restart. Oh, Chicho wants to leave. That's okay. We cleared cap space and can get solid players who can take less and perform the same. Oh, well, Manuel refused to come to Salt Lake. That's okay. Diego Dom can support our 3.5 million DP strike. Oh, he's not playing at the expected level. That's okay. Let's just go get a striker real quick. Oh, everyone knows we are desperate, and it's so and they're so inflating their prices. That's okay. We'll just buy from a club that's about to be relegated. Oh, they have a history with poor transfers in Major League Soccer. Oh, that's okay, I guess. We'll wait till the summer. Pablo got curb stomped by the FO, lack of foresight, and is trying to lead this team back, despite the fact that his defenders are switching off who is hurt. Hashtag not Pablo out.
I don't hate it.
He's not wrong.
No.
It's just been a whole pile of crap that
of nonsense
that has just hit. Jared Lydiard. Wow, dude, these people are getting long on here, dude.
Dude, no, like our listeners, bro, they know what's up.
They know what's up. Jared Lydiard says, so I feel like we've talked about trying to be positive as a fan base and have truly, quote unquote, done our time. If being realistic now also sounds like being negative, that's no longer our fault. I genuinely want to know how we can send a message to the front office and the LHM group, letting them know that we really need some help on the field. As season ticket holders, there's a typo there. I don't understand what that means. Do we stage a walkout? Wow. Do we call the ticket office and ask to cancel our season tickets? What will it take for them to properly manage the team and aspire to something more than profitability going forward from today?
That's the key word. Listen, you don't usually get into sports ownership to make money, but the more money you lose, the less you want to do it, right? And then that becomes the harder, the asset becomes harder to sell to get you out of the problem. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do, but in any capitalist, way, and the only way to hurt people with money is to not give them money. And that's not renewing season tickets, not going to games, not buying merch, right? I'm not saying do it, but I'm just saying, that's what the supporters in Manchester do with Manchester United, right? It just backfires on them because so many people from around the world travel to go see games there. But if you look throughout history, right, when fan bases are upset, you almost boycott the team, which sucks. I don't even like talking about the fact that I could see people doing it. But like you said with Leagues Cup, right, that's the start of that kind of thing where it's, you're not giving me a product that's worth my money or my time. Like with any product, you're not going to spend a lot of money on a cheaply made product in real life. Sports are the same.
Yep.
So sure, you have playgrounds and the plaza and fun things to do, but at the end of the day, the product on the field is what's driving the fan base to support you financially. They're going to support you no matter what. They're going to be fans, but they're going to stop departing from that dollar and giving it to you, right? And that's the sad truth. Or you can be like Cleveland Browns fans and wear paper bags on your heads.
You know what?
That's always funny. That's always funny.
I think every single person should show up to the next game wearing a paper bag over their head.
That would be hilarious.
That'd be really funny.
I think that would be amazing.
But we don't condone it.
We don't condone it. We don't support it.
Yeah.
We don't.
It would just be funny.
We don't condone it. I just think everybody should show up to the next home game with a paper bag over their head. One of the things I do want to point out, though, that kind of stuck out to me from Jared's message, I loved it. If being realistic now also sounds like being negative, that's no longer our fault.
Yes, sir.
And Josh, if you know, you know, bro.
If you know, you know.
You know.
You can only take so much, just like with spending the money. You can't be blindly optimistic towards something you know is not going to get better. That's insanity.
Moving on. Ikagonia says, this team is not that bad on paper, right? Right? It shouldn't be this bad. How is it this bad? I had some hope early on, but we're not even going to make the playoffs at this point. We've seen enough.
You know what's sad is, and we've all had this conversation before for years.
Yeah.
But making the playoffs at this point, unless we genuinely do get substantially better, right? If we really turn a corner and we're killing it. But if we just eke out results and stumble into the playoffs, it's one of the worst things that can happen for this club. The only way I want to see this team in the playoffs is if we're securely in a 4-5.
I would agree. And that should be the expectation.
It should be, right?
That should be the
play-in game, absolute failure.
Yeah. I would 100% agree. I don't agree with this next one from Colin Cowles, but we're still going to read it anyway. Maybe we should sign a decent striker instead of a 35-year-old washed goalie.
Cabral's not washed.
Oh, any other comparison there? You might have me, but
Going after Cabral is a no-no.
Yeah.
that's a no-fly zone for me.
It's a no-no, Colin.
Just imagine any other goalkeeper except Ramondo in RSL history taking the beating that Cabral's taking this year. It would be so much worse if Cabral was not in net. I would put like my firstborn on that.
Imagine Matt Van Okel, man,
Bro.
on this team. Yeah.
Andrew Putna.
Yeah.
Just not good.
Yeah.
Cabral is incredible. And for, what was he, free?
$3.99.
Yeah, all day long.
He's been one of the brighter spots of this season.
And, if you're signing a player for free, you can't compare it to the DP that you should have brought in.
Absolutely.
It's not the same.
Yeah. This one's probably my favorite one. Justin Miram, former Real Salt Lake man, came into and also wanted to share some thoughts on the situation. And he said, "Don't have Miram to provide the service," with some heart emojis.
I agree.
Yeah, but to argue, because that's what I do, who's he serving it to?
Yeah. No. Yeah, I agree.
He has Miram has great passing, great service into the box, and I would say that's probably a player my family misses the most. We love Justin Miram. He's a Michigan guy. My family's all Michigan fans.
Oh, I thought we were gonna make it through a whole episode without the Michigan reference.
We're very, very biased. Go Blue.
Yeah, I actually was happy when he left, so sorry about it.
Sorry, Justin. Mr. Talented says, if RSL sack Pablo, then it's a guarantee that Luna leaves this summer. Their relationship is huge. Luckily, I don't think Pablo's getting sacked anytime soon.
I think he's gone either way.
At the end of the season?
Sorry, Pobs.
No, he's gone in the summer.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Luna. Yeah, Luna.
Yeah.
Our best hope is, someone signs him and loans us right back to us for the rest of the year.
Yes, that would be ideal.
That would be ideal, but if they didn't want to do it with Gomez, I don't think they would want to do it with Luna.
Yeah.
It depends on the team, though. It depends on the team, because let's throw out a hypothetical out there, right? You look at a team like Chelsea, who have a knack of buying a bunch of guys and then loaning them out immediately. And so, if a team like that, like a Chelsea that just has a crap ton of depth and,
they're
doesn't really
collecting their FIFA player cards.
Yeah, exactly. That I could see, but if he's going to, I don't know, Real Zaragoza or someone who immediately needs Diego Luna, then no, it's not happening.
I agree.
No. Colton Pranger says, so basically we suck. No one cares if we win. Luna will leave us. Then we're doomed. That's what's
up.
Very depressing. Miles Dunn says, talent isn't adequate to compete in this league. The last two transfer windows have been misses, and the best player on our team will likely be transferred this summer. Yes, and yes.
Love you, Miles.
Colm Luker says, I've been a wait and see with Pablo kind of guy, but with a lot of U's and T's, the last results have led me to be a Pablo out guy. I'm on the train. You can't give up set piece goals every game and not expect teams to target set pieces when playing you. That's just one of the problems. I would agree. Actually,
yeah, he's definitely not missing the mark.
Yeah. Huh. I see what you did there.
Bruh.
I'm going to throw it in a few more times.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, might as well.
Look. I'm not, like I said earlier, I'm not Pablo out yet. I think there's still a lot to be, I wouldn't say happy. That's a terrible word to use, but there's still a lot that I think Pablo Mastroeni can hang his hat on. Set piece defending, though, that needs to be fixed ASAP.
Yup.
Both of Vancouver's goals were off set pieces because the penalty was off a corner that led directly to that 2-2. And then the first goal was off a corner too. So then you have the equalizer against Austin that was off a corner. So yes, set pieces need to be fixed immediately. Quinn Dusek says, I don't know how people didn't see this coming. Letting 90% of your goals walk out the door typically doesn't bode well for goal scoring. Yes, Quinn. Zach Draper says, yes, front office needs to be the priority, then prioritizing the player additions as quick as possible. But Pablo's tactics, starting lineups, and substitution patterns have been a nightmare week after week this season. Yes, we hit on that earlier, Zach. Michael Gill says, spiraling. We lost too many key pieces and just can't get it together with the ones we have. Not enough time for this to gel together.
What's wild is, like, to me, too many key pieces. Like, there's still just two.
Yeah.
Outside of those two, like the spines.
Everybody else was here last season.
Minus Cabral, who's at upgrade.
Yeah.
Right? Your right back's weak. Your center backs have been okay. Set piece defending's atrocious. Losing your man, right, in counter situations, or just losing your man, period, especially from the wing backs, has been bad. Midfield's been, they're the same, and they have their moments, but they've been poor. Your wings have been mostly good, right? I don't know. It's Diogo and Chicho. Not Diogo yet, I hope. It's Crooks and Chicho that we're really, really missing, and those are the two pieces. And it blows my mind that we couldn't replace two pieces like that. It would make more sense if, like, let's say we lost Vera, we lost Ojeda, we lost Crooks, we lost Chicho, and Gomez, right? That's a big chunk. But you only have to replace two guys. We've had two windows.
Technically three if you factor in Gomez.
Yeah, but I consider Dominic the attempted replacement, right? And now Gozo's is taking those minutes, so, like, that one I'm less worried about. It's those other two that are killing us.
This is probably the last one we'll do because it's a really long one, but it's from a longtime listener, and we have to share it. Nate Otterstorm says, I feel like I'd consider myself as huge of an RSL diehard, and I don't panic too fast, but when we underperform, that being said, I don't remember a time being this embarrassed to be an RSL fan. Oof. I'm not excited for game day anymore. It feels like the whole club has accepted this as the new normal given the past 2 weeks and the past 2 week transfer windows. I still like Pablo. I think he has the locker room, and we saw the bum roster he took to the Western Conference Finals without any ownership support. I think he was crucial in Luna's development, and as long as he's here, we'll have Luna's recommendation to other young prospects that can come develop here. I don't trust the FO. The bummer is if you look at the roster, not including DP or U22, it's a solid roster. Strong DM group, solid LB pair, great GK, 2 decent CBs. If we use our other DP and U22 slots to help Luna with the solid base roster, I think we have a competitive playoff team. Hopefully we ditch Diogo this summer and the Millers spend some real money early. Feeling a lot better. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Yes. Nate. I think that's a great one to end it off.
I think so too. It kind of sums up everyone's thoughts into one nice little present with a little bow. And when you open that box, it's disappointment. So.
This roster, I refuse to believe it's bad. Because it's not. Luna has been playing, lights out. 8 goals, 2 assists, however much he's at this so far this year. We saw last season Mecca and Ellie and Brian Ojeda become the best, or if not one of the best, midfield pairings in the entire league. Justin Glad was in all-star conversations. Brian Vera is a freaking tank. Alex Atranis is one of our best players going forward. And I would argue he is one of the best left backs in the league. Cabral has been phenomenal. We mentioned it earlier. This is a league that's driven on DP play and U22 play. And right now, Real Lake is desperately missing the DP play. And I think that there needs to be more asked of our U22s, i.e. Dominic Mark-Juk.
Yeah, there needs to just be more, right? Effort. I don't know what it is, but it's just not clicking, man. It's frustrating. And then you think about guys that haven't gotten a chance, right? Like, what's Lachlan Brook up to? He was supposed to come in and be something. You know, it just makes you wonder. It makes you wish you didn't get rid of Andrew Brody. That was sarcasm.
You sounded very serious saying it.
I know.
Also, I heard was Andrew Brody, and I think he lost me at Andrew Brody.
I think he just lost everybody listening to.
I was listening to Josh, and I was like, I'm nodding my head agreeing, and then he said Andrew ended his sentence with Andrew Brody, and I just like completely forgot everything.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh.
Real Salt Lake's off this weekend. International window. Shout out Diego Luna for getting the call up. Real Salt Lake again does not play until the 14th at home against DC United, and then have a back-to-back with LAFC visiting on a Wednesday night.
Oof.
So another midweek matchup coming up for Real Salt Lake before they go on the road to Sporting Kansas City, and that is your month of June.
Boy, we're lucky Benteke's hurt because he would have a heyday against this RSL team on set pieces.
Yeah, I would agree. But also DC United is one of the weaker sides in the Eastern Conference, and I think bringing them to your home, welcoming in a cross-country trip right to America First Field for DC United, you have to win that one, right?
You have to, but you had to beat the 0-16 LA Galaxy. I know they had some ties. You had to beat the 0-16 LA Galaxy, and you didn't do that. So, like, what's really our expectation? It's a must-win, but
yes,
I can't tell you that I'm confident they will.
Yeah, but at the same time too, how many times have we talked about, Josh, about a match being must-win for Real Salt Lake and they didn't win?
You know, I would feel better about an RSL win if it was LAFC first. Because I genuinely still, even though it hasn't completely worked out, right, against the good teams, I still think we play to the level of our opponent.
Yeah. I totally I see that a lot too. Even when I feel like we go into a game where we're the better team for sure. Like we've been playing good and all of this. I feel like we always drop down to how the opposition is playing.
Yep. So I would prefer us to, face a top team right now, maybe play up, our level, play up higher in what we're capable of competing against, because I think we can compete against anybody. But I'd rather have them get that test than another, okay, these guys aren't that good either, so we should be able to get this win, right? That doesn't challenge you enough mentally. You're not getting up for it like you should. I'm sure they're up for it, right? They've got to be frustrated, just like we are. But I would much rather have the top team first, especially coming off like such a disappointing loss. Like that was comical in the disappointment.
And you mentioned, this team typically has the tendency to play down to its opponents, and I feel like that's kind of what we saw on Saturday, where you're playing the league worst, and you played like the league worst. It was not a fun watch against the Galaxy. And so I guess one can hope and one can wish, and one will wait to see what happens against DC, because you desperately need 3 points. If there's any hope, if there's any desire for this team to make it into the playoffs in a good position with some home field advantage, you can't afford to lose anymore.
Like none at this point.
Yeah.
Like one to two losses, you're done. You're not getting a top seed.
And I really hope that by the end of June, we're talking about some wins and not talking about no Real Salt Lake that continues to be winless. But we'll see, man.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It's again, time will tell. Yeah.
Hopefully.
We sound so defeated. Oh my goodness.
I feel defeated, man. It's difficult.
It sucks.
It's rough, man.
We need a secondary feed of unedited, unaffiliated show.
Pay $1 to come and listen to us, our uncut version.
Yeah. An unaffiliated version behind a paywall of just give me a high five and let me know you're not a narc. And we'll have some fun.
Hell yeah.
Tell you how we really, really feel. But anyway.
Josh, anything else you want to add before we wrap this one up, man?
No, I'm so sorry for all the editing you have to do.
That's fine. That's fine. Carson?
No, I'm all good.
All right. And so with that, we'll conclude today's edition of the RSL Show. Again, sorry guys for missing you for the past month. We're back though. We'll be back, and we'll continue to be back following the DC United game. Don't forget to go like, don't forget to go follow, don't forget to go subscribe, don't forget to go do what you have to do to follow the RSL Show for the best RSL content. Again, we'll talk to you guys next week.